Hey everyone, this is Amber Key, and you're listening to a Bright Idea podcast, a show where I sit down with entrepreneurs to discuss the aha moments that launched their businesses. Our guest today is Blessing Indon, founder of AbokiBee Kilishi, a Nigerian beef jerky brand which officially launched in October 2023. It has various flavors including hot and spicy, mild, mango habanero, barbecue, and a vegan brand made out of sweet chili pineapples. Blessing is a serial entrepreneur working as a makeup artist and a professional MC in Los Angeles. AbokiBee Kilishi is a reflection of her commitment to share the rich flavors of her Nigerian culture with the world. Her ultimate goal is to continue using her skills and businesses to build a lasting legacy for herself and her family. In this episode, Blessing shares her childhood memories of Kilishi in Nigeria to launching her own jerky business in the U.S. We chat about the cultural significance of Kilishi, the challenges of entrepreneurship, and the importance of social media in building her brand. In this episode, she emphasizes the need for authenticity in food products and the value of believing in oneself. Blessing also shares her vision for the future of AbokiBee and offers advice for aspiring food entrepreneurs. Before we dive in, if you love what we're doing here at A Bright Idea Podcast, help us keep going. You can subscribe to this show to get notifications when new episodes drop. If you like what you hear, share the episode with someone who needs a little inspiration. And if you'd like to support the show directly, you can donate to our Cash App at A Bright Idea Podcast. Lastly, if you're a business owner or a brand looking to connect with our growing audience, we'd love to collaborate with you. You can sponsor an ad within one of our episodes or sponsor an entire episode. Just reach out to us to learn more. Now let's get into it. Here's my episode with Blessing Indon, founder of AbokiBee Kilishi. Thank you so much for coming on to A Bright Idea. How are you?
I'm so excited. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well, girl. I'm really excited for the listeners that are listening to this. For anyone that doesn't know, I love jerky. I don't know much about Nigerian jerky, but after talking to you initially and doing some research and then you sending me a package, I was like, oh, this is the type of time I'm on. So I'm just really excited for people to get to know you, get to know your business. Let's hop into rapid fire. I want people to get to know you behind your business before we start talking about AbokiBee. Are you ready?
Nice. I am ready. I'm excited. Let's go.
All right, let's get it. All right, so Kilishi with mild or extra spice?
Extra spicy. Listen, I'm Nigerian. Back home, everything is extra spicy. That's the way to go.
Yes. Who's your favorite Nigerian artist right now?
Oh, that's a tough one because I like a few of them, but I'm gonna say Uju. His name now is Benson, BXNX. So I love Afro R&B. So anything that has that in it, that's my favorite.
Me too, especially during the summertime. Actually,
Yes,
I can listen to Afro beats or Afro R&B like all time of the year, but the summer it just gives a different energy.
I know what you mean. Trust me, I'm on that. I'm on that
Yeah.
vibe.
What's one business tool that you can't live without?
Oh my goodness. I would say right now is ChatGPT. I need
Okay.
ChatGPT to help me whenever my brain is going through a fog. I'm constantly like trying to, give it new ideas to help me put my thoughts together. And I just, right now is ChatGPT and also Instagram. Instagram really does help bring, that creativity, that traffic, and just getting to meet new people that love our products. So those two tools.
Instagram, and we'll get into it too, but Instagram is
Yeah.
actually how you founded your business. So I think that's a great answer. What's one of the biggest myths about starting a food business?
Oh my gosh. I think one of the biggest myths is the fact that everybody thinks that as long as you're doing anything that has to do with food, it's, you know, business will always be moving and you're not going to have any slow peaks. But what they don't understand is regardless of what kind of food that you're making, it's number one, it's a lot of physical hard work. You're literally standing a lot of the times doing all of that. And there will be moments where you still don't make sales. Like it's not always because people eat food all the time, they're gonna buy all the time. Sometimes you still have those ups and downs. And I think people just think, oh well, people eat all day, so your business just supposed to flow all the time. But no, like even when you ask like cake makers and people who are doing any kinds of food, there's still the ebbs and flows in business. So that's what I mean. At least that's what I thought. I thought it was just gonna be easy peasy, but it's not always the case.
Yes. And what is what's a song that gets you in the zone?
Oh, you know what? I just anything R&B, like just put some Jasmine Sullivan on, put some, some Afro R&B. Just I also love gospel. I do love a
Mm,
good gospel. Gospel sometimes has that R&B flow in it. I do love
yes.
that. So any slow, touching music, I do like. Yeah.
I love that. I
Hmm.
think it like puts you at peace.
It does. It does.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for playing Rapid Fire. Coming up, Blessing's cultural roots and identity. I think our listeners can now get a little bit of an idea of who Blessing is behind AbokiBee. But now let's get into it a little bit. I want to take people on a journey of you before starting your business and sort of what led up to it. What I found really fascinating was that your story kind of starts with this childhood memory of your dad bringing Kilishi home from Abuja, where your family is from. I want you to take us back to that experience and what was that was like for you as a child.
Yeah, so growing up in Nigeria, my father was also a businessman, so that required him to travel a lot. So he was always going to China, he was always going to Abuja, going to different parts of the world, and just getting items for, trading. And so whenever he would go to the north, which is in Abuja, you can't go to Abuja and not come back to Kilishi. That's just like a staple. It's like a staple treat, right? Everybody, they sell it in the airport, girl. That's how everybody, it's a big deal. Everybody brings it back. So when my dad would go, he would always bring it back home. And I think that was like my first experience with really like trying really good spicy foods and, the beef jerky that Nigeria has to offer. So it just wasn't anything that I thought in my future I would end up doing as a business. It was just something that I always used to appreciate. And so, yeah,
Mm.
those are the memories that I have.
That's awesome. And what, for the people that are listening, talk to us about Kalishi specifically and
Yeah.
how it's different than the beef jerky that we might consume here in the States.
It's different because everything is done super, super naturally. I just feel like when you go to Nigeria in the north, you're gonna see a lot of the traders doing everything from scratch, whether it's like cutting the cow, drying it, and they use the sun. So because it's super hot, we're closer to the equator, so the sun is what's drying that meat. I mean, they smoke it a little bit just to give it that barbecue smoky feel to it, but it's done like literally from the sun, drying it. We get our peanuts naturally. We use a lot of peanuts, which is one of our natural resources that Nigeria has to offer. So um, we use those peanuts. We make butter out of it naturally, and we coat it. We do all of that good stuff, so you can taste the difference because everything is super organic and fresh. The spices,
Mm.
the chili, everything that is used is just coming from home, right? And so. Um, it just has that. I'm telling you, like the spices is nothing like you've ever tried before. It's super delicious, and you see the amount of like love that's put in it when people enjoy it because it's something that binds us and brings us together.
Mm. And so were you born in Nigeria?
I was actually born in Cross River, which is in the south of Nigeria. I'm from Akwa Ibom, also from the south, but I was brought up in Lagos. Lagos is the capital of Nigeria. So I was raised in Lagos till I was 10 years old, and then I moved to the United States. I did high school
Okay.
in the US and all of that. And sorry, I did middle school in the US. Then I moved back to Nigeria to do high school. I would still come during holidays and stuff. And then I did college here. So I've lived a good double life. I have a great balance between my life in Nigeria and my life in America. So if you hear my accent change, that's because that's because I'm very much, a product of both countries. I always tell people I am the real definition of a Nigerian American because I've lived both
Mm.
experience equally. And yeah, I just the best of both worlds. So I'm very
Talk
blessed.
to me about the best of both worlds and sort of
Yeah.
what that experience was being a Nigerian and also growing up in America as well.
I love it because I was blessed to not lose my culture, right? I was able to move to America and realize, okay, there's more life here. I got to experience snow. We moved to Wisconsin, so there was a lot of snow and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
We couldn't always have access to our, Nigerian foods like we would, as far as like, just every day going to the grocery store and getting all of that. My dad would always bring some of our food products for us to eat at home, but I
Mhm.
knew that I was in a whole new world. But moving back to Nigeria, my parents did that intentionally so we could stay rooted and grounded in our culture. So I went to what we call boarding school. Like that's where you actually live in the school and experience being around other kids and just learning how to be independent at a very young age. And so I did that for a little bit, and then I moved back to to go to college. And I feel like my
Yeah.
experience going to the University of North Carolina, Charlotte, gave me the ability to also dig deeper into myself and bring out more of my creativity. I went to school for English and journalism, so I was able to do a lot of different things, whether it was screenplays. I was also able to use my free time when I was done with my courses and my schooling and everything to start my first business as a makeup artist. So I have several businesses before AbokiBee. I started doing makeup at the age of 18. I launched my first business called PB Style Makeup Artistry.
Mm.
um, I moved after college to Los Angeles, and I came to Los Angeles because I wanted to, take my makeup artistry into the film industry. I can do special effects, I can do all of that, beauty makeup, all avant-garde, all of that good stuff. I
Yeah.
moved here, uh, and God was like, "No, I have another plan for you." And so I started doing an MC business. And that's funny. That's a funny story too, because that one happened accidentally. I just had a friend of mine. I used to do MCs here and there in the church in North Carolina, but it wasn't something I ever saw doing as a business.
Hmm.
A friend of mine here was like, "Hey, I have a graduation party. Could you come over and MC my party?" But I honestly read her text messages, "Could you just come and attend?" And I'm thinking, okay, I'm coming for a good time. I get there and she hands me the mic and I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And she's like, "Yeah, you said you was gonna host the party." And I'm like, I go back to look at the text and I'm like, oh my goodness. And in that instance, like with no preparation or anything, I end up hosting. And then from there, I launched that new business. That was my second business, going around LA and hosting red carpets, hosting weddings and just different events.
I
Um,
really love that. I
yeah,
love that. I just want to pause you for a second because when you're talking about all of the businesses that you had and had started since you were 18, there's you spoke earlier about your father being an entrepreneur, and I think that uh, children who have parents who are entrepreneurs that grow up seeing how businesses run, they kind of get they get the bug. Did you grow up with siblings, and are you the
yes.
only business owner?
You know what? I'm the third child out of four kids, and we all do like little businesses here and there, but I think I'm the one who really goes hard like my dad. I
Mm,
feel like I'm the one who really has always taken entrepreneurship with like a smile and just really taken it to the next level.
hmm.
Definitely had a huge influence watching my father. My father owns a restaurant in Lagos, Nigeria. Mr. V, shout out to them. It's a Calabar kitchen restaurant where he cooks like, our native traditional foods. And a lot of people from different cultures come over there and they eat it. In Nigeria, we have a lot of different cultures from the Igbos, Yorubas, Hausas, different cultures. So he decided to just focus on just that one and giving it to other people. So I really grew up watching my dad make money in his sleep because that
Mm.
restaurant wasn't his only business. My father owned several things. He would sell cars, he would sell doors, he would sell anything you can think of, my father sold.
Yeah.
And so I just remember always hearing like the alerts from like, money coming into his phone as an alarm clock for him. Like he always was just, working and hustling. And I just really admire my father's ability to see an idea and make money off of it. I remember him telling me a story about being in college and um, in his first year of college, the little canteen right by the school was selling food to the students. And he remember asking the man, like, hey, like, does this really bring in a lot of income? And the guy showed him his books, like, yeah, like, I make a lot of money from that. I'm telling you, my dad dropped out of college. My father dropped out of college, moved back to Nigeria, and opened his own restaurant and hasn't looked back since. I'm telling you, that restaurant took us through,
Wow.
took all his four kids through school. It brought us to America. He did a lot. That restaurant is still running to this day. And so it's just the ability to trust your natural guts, your instincts, and most importantly, believe in yourself. I think that was one of the lessons that I learned from both my parents, being able to believe in yourself and see something that only you and God has given you a vision and just following that. So yeah, it's
So
definitely in my
I
blood.
know you. No, I know you went to school for communications story journalism,
Yes.
and you have your degree. Did you believe that you would go into working a sort of a corporate role, or did you always know that entrepreneurship was going to be your path?
To be honest with you, I always knew entrepreneurship will always be my path, but I'm Nigerian. You not my parents are not looking at you to tell them you want to be a makeup artist. You're gonna go to school, get a degree, and get a job. But not
Okay.
to say that they discouraged me from my business. It was just more of just in case it doesn't work out, you have something to fall back on. And they were
Right.
right because when I did move to Los Angeles, it was kind of tough, breaking into the industry. So I did get a regular 9 to 5, but I never gave up on my dreams while doing my 9 to 5. I always was pushing my businesses. I started 3 businesses while doing 9 to 5. And I still
Yeah.
do 9 to 5 because I'm not at a point yet where I feel like my business can pay for my standard of living, but I'm not giving up on that dream. I'm still pushing, I'm still working, and one day I will live that life that my dad lived by being able to solely rely on my businesses.
When we return, Blessing takes us through the process of making Kalishi. Amen. But I also think that we live in a time right now where, I work a 9 to 5, but I also have this podcast, which is my business. And, I have benefits and I have perks of working a 9 to 5, but I'm also able to have another stream of income. And I
Yeah.
think that the way that we're going in the world, it just, and we've seen it in the last few months, like
Yes,
it's so important to have many things in case something falls through, which
absolutely.
you having, yeah, your makeup artist, you also have your MC business, and then you went on a trip with your friends to
Yes.
a wedding in Nigeria, and people were hitting you up on Instagram. This is where the Instagram as a tool comes into
Yes.
play, comes into the story. This is my favorite part of your story. But you're at a wedding with your friends, and people are hitting you up about Kalishi.
Listen,
Talk,
Amber, I'm
talk to
telling
me about
you. I'm telling you, I was just living my best life. This new business was not part of it was not part of my story. You know how I was in a new state and a new culture. The wedding was in Abuja, right?
that.
And this
Okay.
is how the story goes full circle. And I'm over there just experiencing a new culture because I've never really been to like a house of wedding and seeing how that culture does, traditional cultural marriages. So I'm excited. I'm just like taking pictures of my makeup getting done, all of that. And one of the stops was like I said, you cannot go to Nigeria and go to Abuja without getting kilishi. There's just no way. So while I was there, everybody was like, girl, you better bring that kilishi back, like, bring it back to the States. And I'm looking at these people like, we can't bring meat back into the US. It's just, you can't do it. It's a lot of precautions. We don't have bird flu. We've had, all kinds of things. So they're very, like, very, very particular about it. So I was just like, look, if I'm putting in money to buy this jerky and they trash it, I lose. So if I actually bring it and they don't search me in the airport or wherever the case may be, you guys are gonna pay for this. And they're thinking I'm playing because I do play a lot. But in this particular case, I'm like, y'all don't pay for this. So I end up having a good time taking the Kalishi back to the US. Didn't get searched. and I start to hawk it on Instagram. Like at this time, I'm using my MC account. I'm just like, hey, I got fresh Abuja Kilishi. Hit me up if you're interested. When I tell you them bags were flying, everybody, people were hitting me up from Chicago. I shipped to Dallas. I shipped to New York. I was sending this Kilishi everywhere. Within an hour, I sold out. I remember I made $350 within an hour. The last bag I auctioned off for $100. That's how serious it was because
Now
people wanted
pause.
it so bad.
So, can you not get Kalishi in the States?
So they have it, but because the spices that we use are so like, how do I explain it? Like the spices are just so authentic to home, right? Especially Abuja specifically, they just have the special sauce. Like if you get it, you get it. Like it's authentic, it's more natural, it's just more rich because the House of People, that's their thing. Like that's what they've been brought up to do a lot of the times. And so yes, we have it in the States, but people try to mix it with other spices to make it stretch. So we call it
Mm-hmm.
yaji. The spice is called yaji. Some people know it as suya pepper. There's a difference, but some people don't know there is a difference. But
Mm-hmm.
the actual pepper that's used is called yaji pepper, and Abuja has the authentic one, right? And so when you
Yeah.
bring it over here, people will call it suya, but they just mix it with other kinds of chili just to make it stretch because that it has a particular scent that
Mm.
they can get away with it by just, adding other stuff. But I know, and you would know if you've gone to Abuja and tasted what it's like, and then you come here and you're like, it's watered down, like something ain't
Mm.
right.
I was doing some research about the House of Traders, and so do they have? Is it like a farmer's market? Is it like a village? Like, give us like the
Yeah.
visual of what it would be like to go and
Yes.
purchase Kalishi from them.
Okay, like I love that you said that because area one is literally a market. There's an area in the market that is dedicated to those Kilishi traders, right? So they've gone to um at Nasarawa. Nasarawa is where they do all the cutting and they do all the drying of the meat and everything, but Abuja area one is where it's sold, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they come there and they're able to sell to people from all over the world. It's actually turned into like a tourist area now where
Mm-hmm.
people come from different states of Nigeria, different parts of the country, buy kilishi and take it and ship it to wherever. But the thing about it is, like I said, meat is not supposed to be taken outside of the country. Sometimes they do catch you, sometimes they don't. But everybody wants that authentic taste. So that's exactly
Yeah.
what it is. It's just a market, an open market, like you would say, like a farmer's market in the US.
And so how much is it to purchase from them? And then
Oh my
like what would be
gosh.
the equivalent and how is it helping their community by you sort
Mm.
of purchasing and then wholesaling Kalishi?
So the thing is, it's been a while since I've actually, and the economy is changing so fast. I remember when I was there, I probably bought like one sheet, and I would say it's probably like yay high, this wide, and
Mhm.
that was like 5,000 naira, which now
Mm,
should
okay.
be about four, five, I would say $5, $6, probably, yeah, about $5 now. Yeah, yeah, it's
$5. Wow. And so one
yeah.
sheet, how much could that feed? How many packages could you
Mm,
make with that?
child, one and a half.
Okay.
Yeah, so because it's a lot of labor. I don't think people understand how much labor goes into making kilishi. It takes me 10 hours to make my batch. Now, I don't want people to get confused. Like, I make my own kilishi myself. So
Hmm.
back in Nigeria, you might have like 7 to 10 people working on one batch. Here in the US, I do it all myself. So it's
Why?
a lot of labor. It takes 10 hours to make a batch. So it's a
Mm.
lot of work. It's a lot of work.
So take me to that back to that aha moment. I'm sorry I took you on this path because I really want
Mm,
people to understand the process, the
yeah.
history, the heritage, how important this particular this isn't just
Hmm.
a snack. We're talking
Hmm.
about like this is sort of a delicacy of
It is.
of of, of a people. And so I really
Hmm.
want people to understand that. But I want to take them back to this aha moment where people are hitting you up in your DMs and you're
Hmm.
selling this for you made 100 or $350 and the
Hmm.
last person, so they're basically like bidding wars. The last
Hmm.
person purchased Kalishi for $100. At
Yeah.
this point, what were you were like, okay, we're going into business.
Yeah.
AbokiBee
So
is in full
it
swing
was
now.
so it was so surreal, honestly, because when I saw how fast people wanted, it reminded me of, when like I said, when my family moved to Wisconsin, and there was a bit of feeling homesick, not being able to go to a Nigerian restaurant or step outside and just get stuff, street food like we would. And
Mm,
Kilishi is a very well-known street food back home, right?
mhm,
It's just like suya, right? Suya is I would say, the sister to Kilishi, where you actually just have the meat fresh with the spices. And then you have Kilishi, which is something that's more dried, and you can keep it for 6 to 7 months and it wouldn't go bad. And so when I saw how people wanted it so bad, I said, there's a gap here. There's a gap in the market for authentic kilishi. Not to say we don't have it, but it's not like the one in Abuja. And there's this gap that not a lot of people are filling. And for me, like I said, I already had several businesses that I had started, but most importantly, like, I'm also very religious. You can tell from my name being blessed. I'm a Christian. So I remember going to bed that night, and the way God speaks to me, He speaks to me by waking me up in the middle of the night, because that's when I'm still. So I remember Him downloading it into my mind, like, hey, this is your next project. Like, this is the next thing I want you to, like, bring to the world. And I'm thinking, like, oh, he wants me to go to Nigeria and figure out a legal way to bring it to the States. That's really what I thought he was saying. And
yes.
sometimes you got to really, really tap in and clock in and make sure that what you're hearing is the same thing he's saying. So in my
Mm,
mind, I'm thinking, man, I got you. Like, I have the personality to be able to sell it. It ain't no thing. So I
yeah.
start working on this business plan. Mind you, this is in 2022. I start working on this business plan on how I'm gonna get Kulishi here and keep, doing those bidding wars like I was doing, and just keep selling it to my people, because everybody wants the Kilishi from Abuja.
Hmm.
Child, I went on a whole rat race for a year, literally
Mm,
hitting every bridge, every door, because there was no way to really bring it without, customs just, really, really being on you. So, um, during that one year, you have to understand, like, life is still happening. Like, I'm going through heartbreak, I'm going through sadness, I'm going through friendship loss, I'm going through a lot of different things. And so I end up, like, falling into a bit of a depression, because I'm just like, God, this is too hard.
hmm.
Like, I've tried, and I don't know. You might need to pick somebody else. I was like, I tried. It's a little hard, so I don't want to do it no more. And so, I remember kind of like, just even during that time when God was telling me to do it, and that time I was trying, I was speaking it to people all around me and telling my friends, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna start a Kalishi business. I had no idea how, but yeah, I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start it. I just kept speaking it into existence. And I
Yeah.
remember, Amber, like, I would, after I told God I don't want to do it, it's kind of too hard for me. I remember I would go to, like, the Dollar Tree, or I would go to a store, and literally beef jerky on the counter is like, you're supposed to be here. Like, it used to be so freaky. Like, when I say this to people, they just be like, girl, like, you making stuff. I'm like, I'm telling you, I would be so convicted. Like, I don't, like, if you've ever heard God tell you to do something and you don't do it, like, I was Jonah in that moment. Like, I'm running from this thing, and it just, you're supposed to be, and I would literally, like, buy my gum and run out the store, because I just did not want to deal with it.
Yeah.
So now we're in 2023. 23. I'm now coming out of a depression a little bit. I'm now trying to, like, get my life back.
Yeah.
Um, Actually, no, take that back. It's been a year, so we're already in 2023. While I went through the depression, I told God no. And then I started, feeling a little better when I was like, okay, you know what, God, like, nothing else is working. So now I'm coming back to you, like, what do I do?
Hmm.
And he's like, no, you didn't hear me. I'm not saying I want you to figure out a way to sell kimchi. I want you to make it. And prior to this, right, I had called my dad, And I told my dad, like, hey, I have this business that God is telling me to do. Um, what should I do? And I remember my dad advising me, like, you need to figure out a way to make this business in the United States. He's like, you need to figure out a way to do it there. And I'm just like, well, God, like, I'm from the south of Nigeria. I'm not from the north. Like, I don't have any Kilishi experience in my blood in any shape or form. And so when my dad gave me that advice, I remember going back to pray about it, and God was like, "Yeah, you didn't hear me. I wanted you to make it. I'm not telling you to, go to other people. This is going to be your legacy." And honestly, the way he put it was, "PB style is your talent." He said,
Yeah.
"MCB is already your purpose because you do that on an everyday basis. Bringing light and joy to people is what I have put inside of you." And he told me, he said, "AbokiBee is going to be your legacy. You need to be the one to make it." And I remember when he had going back to, I know I'm jumping it around, but follow me. Going back to 2022, when God originally told me to start the business, he gave me the name. So I already knew the name. I knew AbokiBee was the name that he wanted me to use to start the business. So, when you're just kind of like, believing, but you're not sure. So I used to, like, buy little things. Like I would buy bags and I would buy this and I would buy that. I even had a really close friend of mine who I had spoken, about this vision with, and she literally purchased my first machine. Shout out to Gabby. I would never forget my first Kilishi machine. She was the one who purchased, just to show you that the people around me were believing in this vision, but I still was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I really don't know.
Yeah.
And when I was praying to God, he told me, he said, everything you need to succeed is already inside of you. At that time, I didn't understand what he meant. He said, everything you need to succeed, it's inside of you. Just start. That literally was the message. Just start. And I'll take it from there. And so September 2023, I remember this so clearly. It's my birthday is in September. And and literally after my birthday, he told me, just start. And I still had the machine my friend had helped me purchase. And I was like, all right, cool, I'll start. I went to bed that night. He gave me three names. He said, out of these three people, you're gonna know who to contact. And so I called the first person. The first person was like, "Yeah, I go to Nigeria often, so I can bring the kilishi to you here and there, but you might not get it all the time." I was like, "Nah, that's not the person." The second person told me, yeah, I can see how I make kilishi. I can see how I can, ship it to you here and there, but you might get it once a year." I was like, "Ah, that's not the second person." The third person introduced me to my business partner today, and that person thought I actually just wanted to get some kimchi just for myself, but didn't realize that I was working on this business. And so I was already skeptical reaching out to the guy because I'm thinking we have so many language barriers in Nigeria, so I don't know if he's going to speak English. So follow me, right? Remember how I told you that my parents took me back to Nigeria so I can stay connected to my culture.
Yes.
One of the things I picked up when I went back to Nigeria was speaking Pidgin English. Pidgin English is our like Jamaican patois. It's broken English, so it's like a slang. That's how we talk. And I had picked that up, right? I'd always, been saying it and practice it, but I learned more of it while I was there. And so I didn't know when the Bible talks about all things working together for your good. I had already picked that up, so it was already in me, like he talked about. So when I got in contact with the Hausa um, business partner of mine, he was the one that when I reached out to, I start. He spoke the pidgin English, so I was able to
Wow.
communicate with him. I was able to communicate. I said, "Look, I want to start this business. Like, could you help me?" And then he said, "I'll call you back in 10 minutes." I'm already thinking, "He ain't gonna help me." Girl, tell me why in 10 minutes. Mind you, I'm just going through the idea with this man. Like, hey, just, I was wondering, thinking, it was going to be the start of something new. He calls me back in 10 minutes. He's already in the market. He calls me
Wow.
FaceTime in the market. What size of spices you want? And then he didn't give me a chance to think about it. He didn't give me a chance to doubt myself. He was
Yeah.
like, "What do you want? Let me get those spices." So I stayed on the phone with him shopping to get my spices. He takes those spices, he makes like a little sample of the kilishi with my spices so that I can know that it's the authentic spices he's getting. Ships it to my dad because my dad lived in Lagos, Nigeria at the time.
Mm,
He shipped it to my dad. My dad is like, I don't know who this guy is, where you found him, but he's legit authentic. He ends
mm,
up shipping, my dad ends up shipping those spices to me. This is all happening still in September. 2 weeks later, October 1st, I launched my business. Now,
wow.
what now what I haven't told you is within those 2 weeks, God was working with me every step of the way to be able to cultivate and curate my recipes and everything, irregardless of the fact that I had that business partner. He wasn't the
Mm.
one who taught me. God curated every single step to be able to get me to where I am today, which is AbokiBee.
Ahead, the challenges Blessing faced turning a passion into a product. Well, first of all, thank you for taking us through the journey and being so vulnerable to speak about the darkness that came before starting AbokiBee, because I feel like that's so real.
Yeah.
And it's always, I feel like in my life, it's like, when you're in the trenches of it, that's when
Mhm.
a blessing is about to happen. And so it
Amen. Come
feels,
on.
and so I feel like that was similar to what happened with you. And also,
Absolutely.
you're really dropping gems right here, because so many entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs, everyone has such great ideas, but it's about starting. And sometimes we're trying to figure out, when we have like, we have to have the cliche has to be perfect, the
Yeah.
spices have to be perfect, like everything has to be aligned before we just begin. And I think that, God brought you this guy that was like, I'm not even gonna give her like time to think about it, I'm just gonna, like, we're just gonna go for it. And then this business was born. And so
Absolutely.
I find this to be so fascinating, so thank you. I want to know how, first of all, you AbokiBee, how you said the name came to you in a dream.
Yes.
What does it mean?
Oh yes, I'm glad you asked that. So when in Nigeria, whenever you go and get street food, which is something that's very popular as a part of the culture, you gotta go to Nigeria and eat street food. Come on now, don't be afraid of germs. That's a way of life.
Yes.
So we usually don't know the names of the street food vendors. So we call them Aboki. And Aboki means my friend in Hausa. And so we typically don't, just out of respect, Nigeria, we come from a very respectful, country and culture. So out of respect, it's like Abuki, my friend. So it's a title, a title of honor. So we call them that. And my name is Blessing. So that B stands for blessing, basically me saying that I'm your friend. My name, my
Yes.
your friend Blessing, so that's where the name came from.
That's beautiful, Blessing. I love that.
Yeah.
Talk to me about building your brand. So you
Yes.
mentioned in the beginning, you said you were from southern Nigeria, not northern Nigeria. So you were like,
Yes.
how am I going to be the one to bring Kalishi to the US?
Yes.
How am I going to build this brand and have people trust me to bring this treat? What were some of the like vision boards or the business
Yeah.
plans that went behind creating AbokiBee?
Listen, once my father told me you gotta find a way to do it over there. At this time, the economy in Nigeria is tanking. Everybody's worried. Everybody's running. Everybody's trying to get out.
Mm,
And I'm telling my dad, I'm trying to go back to Nigeria because
mhm,
the number one thing on my vision board was authenticity. I didn't
mhm,
want to be one of those people that brought the spices and kept like trying to make it stretch. And
mhm,
so I understood what my father was saying, but I had to also let him know you you raised me in this way to stay true to myself and stay true to whatever it is that I want to do. So I actually put it down that I wanted to get the authentic spices always from my country.
mhm.
I also knew that although this was a beef jerky for my people, I wanted the rest of the world to indulge in it. So
Mm-hmm.
for me, I wanted AbokiBee to not be a Nigerian brand only, but a global brand. So I had it on my vision board that the rest of the world will know and understand that the best beef jerky comes from Nigeria. And
Mm-hmm.
just people just don't know about it. And we need to shout it loud and make sure that you can go to any grocery store and be able to access it. So I wanted it to be global. So that was on the vision board. Another thing that was also on the vision board was how can I get this to as many people as possible? I got to get a website that people can access internationally and be able to get it. You know, like I said, if I want it to be global, I want people to be able to access it from everywhere. So how am I going to sell it, right? So I'm going to do local pop-ups for the people here in LA, but I also wanted people internationally to be able to access it. I also wanted the different flavors. So I first started out with I first started out with the hot and spicy, which is authentic to how we have it in Nigeria. Everything is spicy, we keep it spicy. But I understood that a lot of my people, when we move to the US, our palate changes. We don't eat as many spicy foods. You stay here long enough, your system is not the same. So I wanted to give variety. Basically, variety was on my vision board. Um, I started out with the hot and spicy, and then I started out with the mild. As much as I love hot and spicy foods, I don't want to eat it all the time. Sometimes I just want
Mm-hmm.
something that's not as aggressive. And
Mm-hmm.
so I wanted a product that I myself could eat, enjoy, and back up. So I made the hot and spicy and made them out. And then once I started tapping into the beef jerky market, I realized, oh my gosh, there's like a huge industry behind beef jerky in America. And what can we do to be able to make it appealing to people and Americans all over, not just Americans, but just people from a different culture. What's appealing to them? And I realized that humans love variety. They love options. So I started out with trying my Kilishi spices with, barbecue. How can I make a good barbecue sauce that still tastes very smoky, very homemade, but will go really good with our, Kilishi spices? So that was the first one. I did a sample. My family and friends loved it. And then we launched the barbecue. And then after
Mm-hmm.
barbecue, I realized a lot of people just love mango habanero. Like anywhere you see mango habanero, they love that sweet, they love that spicy, they love that mix. And so that was the next flavor that I launched. I did mango habanero. After doing mango habanero, I would go to my local farmers markets doing pop-ups, and I would realize a lot of people would say, "Oh, do you have anything vegan? Oh, I'm a vegetarian. I don't eat meat." And I hate to see a dollar walk away. You know,
Yeah.
I,
Period.
I also hate to see the fact that there were so many people who really, really wanted to taste it, but then it just wasn't accessible to them. I was like, nope, I have to go back to the drawing board. And so I would add flavors as I was going. And so the vegan was the next one. But for me, I'm not vegan. I eat meat. But if I was going to eat something vegan, what could I do that would be loved by everybody? Mushrooms was
Mm-hmm.
just not something that I liked. And I wasn't going to put something on the shelf that I wasn't going to eat. So I had to scratch mushrooms off, and everybody was like, "Oh, well, how about jackfruit?" I'm like, "Yeah, everybody and their mama have done jackfruit. It's overplayed. What next?"
Yeah.
And so I realized I love pineapples. How can I make pineapples into a jerky? And I start playing with the recipes, and so I decided to launch my um my my vegan kilishi made out of sweet cherry pineapples. And when I tell you it
Yes.
was a hit, it was a hit. Everybody from all over loved it, whether you eat meat or you don't eat meat. It was something that everybody enjoyed, and that was when I was like, you know what, I have something here, and I'm gonna build on these five flavors. So those five flavors in the year and a half that I've been in business have been my leading champions until I can
I love
expand
that.
it.
I love that. And actually, I'm going to run and grab the packages that you gave me because I
Okay,
want the people that are watching this show to see the difference. And I want you to kind of talk about one thing that you mentioned. You talked about Americans loving beef jerky. It's a
absolutely.
huge thing in the United States, and you're right. People love variety, and I think that goes across the board with like all different like food groups,
Yes.
but particularly with jerky. And so
Hmm.
Kalishi jerky, beef jerky, is very different than a Slim Jim or
Yeah.
something else that you might find in the 7-Eleven. So I just want 1 second
Okay.
for people to see this. I'll be right back.
No worries. Mhm.
Okay, so we have so you sent me the Kalishi hot and spicy, which as you can
Spicy.
see, I've already opened this bag, and I've shared it actually with a friend of mine who we both share our love for beef jerky, and she was like, okay, so where do I buy it? And I was like, go to her website. So you might have a new customer soon.
I
And then this
love
one
that.
and then this one that you're talking about, I am not a vegetarian or a vegan at all either, but I love dried fruit. And so anybody
Hmm.
that is a dry fruit fan, this spicy chili pineapple, I've like it is so good. So I want you to kind of like while I like take a bite because it's almost lunchtime and I'm a bit hungry, I'm going to let you talk to me about
Yes.
the process of making this, because you did mention earlier that it takes hours to make, but I also want you to talk to us about the consistency and how it's
Mhm.
different than what you would find in an American beef jerky. So go ahead.
Yes. First of all, thank you so much for that compliment. Like, I was nervous. I was like, I don't know if she gonna like it. It's spicy, but girl, you tearing it
Girl.
up.
No, I live for spice. Like I put hot sauce on everything. So girl,
I
go
love
ahead.
that. See, so honestly, American jerky, when I first had it, I was like, what is this? Like, jerky is not supposed to be that tough. It just was
Hmm.
not good. And one thing that I noticed was it just was a lot of like, it just was coated with a lot of chemicals. It just tasted it had a really bad aftertaste. That was
Hmm.
what I noticed immediately. And I was like, oof, this is not something that I want to put and cook with. And one thing about our jerky is that our jerky can be used to be added into your favorite recipes. You can make other meals with it. Like you can make baked potato and do a loaded baked potato, and instead of using bacon, you can use our kilishi. It's just loaded with lots of protein and it's a
Hmm.
healthier option for you.
Hmm.
You can put that in your ramen. You can put it as a topping on your pizza. You can use it for other meals. And I just would look at American jerky and I'm like, no, I don't want to use this for nothing else. You know what I'm saying? People will say, oh, you can eat
Hmm.
it with a cracker, but I'm like, it's so hard, it's breaking my teeth. I can't do it. Ours is
Right.
tender, it melts in your mouth. You can use that, and add into other things. And so like with the hot and spicy in Nigeria, like I said, you have like 7 people that are working to, make that Kilishi batch come to life. It's just me doing it. And so I basically have to go through the process of making sure that I properly dry it. I make sure that everything is seasoned properly. And like I said, I use my seasoning from the spices from my country. And I also have some, US US sauces and things that we use, but the authentic spices come from home. And basically, like I said, you dry it a couple times, you make sure that you're slow cooking, and it just gives all those spices time to really, really marinate and really
Yeah.
stick into the meat. And it's real meat. Like I'm using like 100% beef rounds, and that's quality meat. And you can tell instantly because it's melting in your mouth, right? So the pineapple, like I said, a lot of people will come up to me and say, hey, I'm vegan. What else can you use? And it's
Hmm.
well loved by a lot of people. And the pineapple jerky, um, we are basically doing the same thing where we're coating the kilishi spices with the nectar agave and we're mixing it all with your spices and just everything that's natural and good for you is in there. We still do a lot of, I think the pineapple jerky actually takes about 18 hours because it takes a lot of time to get those juices out of the pineapple. Like meat has a lot of water, but not as much as pineapple. So it takes
Yes.
a lot of time to squeeze all that moisture off of it. It's a lot of work, it's a lot of time.
When we return, how blessing built her following. And no, you're doing this all alone. Do you have a business partner? Do you have help? What like
Yeah.
What? Okay,
No,
but
yeah,
you don't have a science background, right? Like a
I
food
don't.
science background.
I don't. And to be honest with you, I laugh whenever people say that because my people back in Nigeria, they barely speak in English. They don't. They don't have any background. They what they do
Mhm.
have is they have a heart for flavor. They have a
Mhm.
heart for taste. And we have been doing this since our forefathers, our grandparents, like generational. Most people in
Mhm.
the jerky industry have passed down their recipes from generation to generation. I'm
Mhm.
one of the ones that is basically learning how to, do this on my own. I have the first Nigerian vegan jerky ever, very first, and I'm learning it on my own. My process is still very similar to any jerky process. The only difference is I am using those spices from my country. Back when people ask me about my background, about going to school for that, you really don't. You really just know how to taste and understand flavor and
Mhm.
understand when something is done and when something is not done. I think um, my people back home are using the sun. They're using very light smoke.
Mhm.
So I don't think it needs to be that complicated. I'm not saying that you can go to school and get that, degree, and of course you should if you have the ability to, but this is something that God has equipped me to do. So I
Yeah.
have the strength and the ability to do it. And so I do. I'm now, after being in business for about a year and a half, getting a team together to help me. So I do have somebody who helps me with packing. But as far
Okay.
as my recipe and making it and stuff like that. I'm just not there yet. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're still starting out, and I think what's lovely too, and I hope that people really do go out and buy your jerky, is that
Thank you.
what I love about your story is that you're inspiring people that you don't need to have some fancy food science degree to be able to do this. What you're doing is taking centuries of recipes from your ancestors essentially and creating this product with love. So it's spicy and it's made with love. You can taste the difference. So
Thank you.
I really really love that. Talk to me about I want to talk to you about how you're making money in your business.
Yeah.
Are you finding funding? Did you have family and friends kind of help you invest in this business?
I laugh at that. I laugh at that because um, funding as of lately has been a struggle. And honestly, people who are finding funding, like, more power to these people, but it's so hard. It's really very more difficult than people think. But I started out my business with my number one, my savings, and also just from the money I was making from my other businesses. Um, I love my family. I do, but they have other things that they're focusing on that I didn't want it to be a burden on them.
Mhm.
So like I said, I started with what I had. I thank God for my friend Gabby, who did believe in me and buy me my first machine. But when God really did tell me to just start, it was amazing because everything that I truly needed to start, I kind of already had. Because when
Okay.
he told me to start the business, I just out of faith at that time, I just was buying bags on Amazon, like bags where that I'll put the jerky in and I do have a little bit of a team together where I have a graphic designer. I'm very grateful to my cousin because my cousin as well is an entrepreneur. She sells Buddy Butters. Shout out to Buddy Butter You Up. So she gave me that blueprint of seeing that it is possible to start a business with what you just have within you. And so we launched my website together. So family, friends, I did have that emotional support. I did have that backing of, yeah, you can do this. They gave me that. But as far as like um in the initial process, I did work with what I had from my savings. I do work a 9 to 5 as well. So I took
Mhm.
some money from my paycheck, whatever I had to keep it moving. But I'm very grateful that as the business has continued to expand and grow, my family has supported. I have my younger brother wrote me a check and was like, "Hey, I see that you're doing great. Keep going. Keep, right now we're in the process of getting new bags, right? So you can have all the nutrition facts and, relaunching and all of that." So my brother definitely was like, "Hey, I see what you're doing. I believe in you here." But it hasn't been an easy process for me getting grants and things like that. I'm not giving up on it because I'm sure there's more um out there that I just probably just not aware of. But it has really been a lot for my paycheck.
And that's why I
Mhm.
love having people on this show because it is an opportunity for you to share your story, but it's
Yeah,
also an opportunity to share um, the real things of what it is to be an entrepreneur is that it's the difference between owning a business and then scaling a business is
yeah,
capital
yeah.
and how hard and how difficult it is. And so you've been applying for grants
I have.
and reaching out. Okay. And
I
so,
have. I think
okay.
I'm at the process now where it's like any opportunity, any opportunity that I
Yeah.
see, I try to. It's in order to get those grants, they also require a lot, and a lot of the stuff that they're requiring, a lot of the times, is my time, and my time is
Mhm.
also falling into my business. So I think that's where my challenge has been. Like, okay, what can I do that it will make sense where it's not taken away from what I have going on? I've been able to balance it
Definitely.
out. But some things have had to suffer, like my makeup business. Somebody extra, extra important has to pull me out of retirement because I've had to put more extra time into a bulky bee.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I still do my MC business
No, that's real. And
though.
yeah. And so, have you been able to make a decent income off of a Boki
Oh
Bee?
yeah,
Have you been,
I
yeah.
yeah I apologize because you did ask me about that. Absolutely. AbokiBee brings in at least an average. I would say anywhere from like 3 to 4K a month. It just depends on what kind of month I'm having.
Wow.
To be honest with you, it just depends on what kind of month I'm having. Like if I am really like on it and it's a good, because like I said, business is up and down. So if I'm really physically okay, I'm not exhausted because I do deal with burnout. Obviously, I'm doing a lot. So there'll be
Amen.
sometimes where I deal with like burnout and I don't really want to I don't really want to do anything. But on the days where I'm like really pushing and I can hit anywhere from 3 to 4K. Mhm.
That is crazy. And what's the secret to your sales? Is it your marketing? Is it Instagram? Is it your website? Is it you being out at farmers markets? What
Yeah.
is it?
It's all of that. It's all of
All
that.
of it.
I'm
Yes. The answer is
a lot of
yes.
yes, like a lot of my friends laugh at me because they're like, one thing about blessing, like you're always going to see the business. You're always going to see the business. And I laugh because I brand myself everywhere. I wish I had it with me. I have my water bottle that has my AbokiBee um name on it. I take that everywhere and it's a conversation starter. You know, I have my sticker, a Boki Bee sticker on my iPad. I have it everywhere. I brand myself. I literally still every time because I'm always, you're never going to see me and not see that I have jerky on me. I wanted people to know me as the Kilishi lady. I want you to know me as the beef jerky lady. Don't even remember my name. Just know me as Aboki Bee. Just know me as the Kilishi girl. I don't mind it. So I do everything. I go to the farmers markets. I do my website. I do online sales. I'm constantly shipping. I just launched the ability to deliver now. I use
I
Cater by
love
Africa,
that.
Cater to Africa app. It's almost like Uber Eats and I deliver to people locally. I whenever I travel, I take it, to friends and family. So I'm constantly coming up with new creative ideas. Right now, I just launched Gary and Kilishi, and we can talk about that later on. But it's another pairing that a lot of Nigerians eat, and it's just something new and creative. And social media gives people that connection to your brand and to your business, and it does help bring income.
How, because we started this story talking about how Instagram was kind of the beginning of your business.
Yes.
How important has social media been to growing an audience and also like maintaining an audience and what they like in your business?
Listen, social media is very important, but since media is also time consuming, if you work social media, you will see the money. Like if you are on that mug every day, doing lives and doing everything, whether it's TikTok, whether it's Instagram. If you're doing
Mm.
all of that, you're definitely going to see the profit at some point. Um, I am, like I said, I'm in a situation right now where I still have other things that take my attention away. Like I still have my full-time job, I still have my other business and things like that. I'm working very hard to make sure that I can put my business in a way where I can wholesale. And I think
Yeah.
wholesale will give me the kind of like the freedom I need to be able to focus on that and more time into social media. So it does help a lot. You just really got to pump that machine. You got to put in that time and put in that work. Hmm.
What's your vision for AbokiBee in the next few years?
AbokiBee, in the next few years, I see AbokiBee in over at least 10 retail stores. Yeah.
Wow.
I
Okay.
want to start doing wholesale. And at that time, my prayer is that I do have those grants and I do have those financial backing to be able to scale. I do not see myself being the sole maker of a Bokibee. I want the
Mhm.
business to graduate and operate without just me. I've done the work by creating those recipes. I'm open
Yes.
to partnerships that are, very vision focused partnerships that will definitely make it a global brand and not just
Mhm.
come and rob and take. No more are we selling out anymore. It's like, what can we do to make sure that the authenticity still stays? And I don't necessarily need to be the sole maker of it. I can be the ambassador of my product. I'm already, you can't take the legacy away from me. I have the name, I have the recipe, I am the legacy. But
Absolutely.
yeah, I definitely am open to partnerships that can take it to a global audience. And I just pray for just the right people to come because I do know you cannot get far on your own. You need a village. You need people that can share that vision that God has given me. I remember Him telling me to just start, and I have trusted that. And as long as I've started this process and I've taken this baby to a part where from going from drinking milk to crawling and now walking, I'm
Yeah.
okay with taking it to a particular point where somebody else can come and say, hey, look, you don't have to do the heavy lifting. Let's take it from here. And I can sit in a role where, you know, I don't mind. I don't mind overseeing from from the sidelines and making sure that that legacy stays the
Well, thank you for bringing AbokiBee to the States
same.
and giving us something new to try aside from our American beef jerky. And thank you for
Yes,
just starting and figuring it out on the way because I think that that's where it all starts. It's like just beginning and you'll figure it out later
absolutely.
on.
Absolutely.
Is what is some advice that you would give to somebody wanting to start a food business?
Oh my gosh. I love whenever people ask me this question because I will always say this right from my very first business, being 18. I always knew that believing in yourself is the key. You have to bet on yourself. Even when other people, your family, your friends might not see the vision that God has given you, you have to stay focused on what He told you to do. Just do that, trust it, and it'll never let you down. Believing in yourself. Even on those days where you're just like, oh my gosh, like, are people gonna like it? And all the silence the noise. Believe in yourself. Also be open to diversifying your products, making sure that you have options. I think diversity has really made me different. Somebody asked me the other day, what's the difference between AbokiBee Kilishi and the Kilishi that you can just get from the African market? And I said, the difference is AbokiBee Kilishi is a diverse brand and it is a global brand. It's for everybody. I'm not just gatekeeping it to my people. I want the world to try it. So always come up with ideas where the whole world can benefit from it. And stay prayerful. Honestly, stay prayed up because you're gonna need God. It's a spiritual battle.
Yeah,
It's a lot of, long nights. It's a lot of tears, sweat, blood, all of that. It's a lot of
all
that,
of it.
but it's so rewarding. It's so rewarding. Every single time somebody buys a bag, and somebody tastes my product and tells me how good it is, or it's just, I talked about being in a depression, right? I feel like it breathes new life to me, gives me a new reason, it gives me a purpose to keep going, and yeah, it gives me a legacy, and I like it. I like that. I like that feeling.
Thank you so much for coming on to A Bright Idea. I know now why your parents named you Blessing, because you really have been
Aw,
a light, and your story has been, I think your story is going to inspire so many people. So
thank
I
you.
really appreciate the time, and you've taken time out of your busy schedule and have talked to me all the way from Los Angeles today.
Oh
So
my
thank
gosh.
you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Amber. Thank you for this wonderful platform. Thank you for just an opportunity to come tell my story. I know I had to hunt you down, but when I saw what you were doing for the community, and for a lot of us entrepreneurs don't get a chance to always, like, talk about our story and talk about our passions on a platform. So thank you, thank you, thank you for your time. And I'm
Absolutely.
looking forward to people ordering that jerky and trying
No, 100%. And that's why I'm here. So if you ever need anything, you know where to find me
it.
now. You don't have to hunt me down anymore.
I know, I know. Oh, and is it okay if I shout out where they can order?
Yes,
Um,
where can people find you?
yes, so you can order AbokiBee Kilishi from my website. It's www.abokibee meats.com. So abokibeemeats.com. And my Instagram, AbokiBee Kilishi. I had to keep that Kilishi to, let my people know I don't want to stray too far from them.
Absolutely.
Kilishi, Kilishi. Abokibi Kilishi. And once you type Abokibi, it'll come up. It'll come up. I'm also on TikTok, Abokibi Kilishi as well. I am working on launching a YouTube channel. Further down in the future, because you had asked me about my process. It's still a work in
Yes.
process. I wanted to slowly grow and expand. I didn't want to rush it because, like I said, I am the only person. I'm doing so much. So the next
Hmm.
step right now is relaunching our new bags and our new packaging. Once we have that down, we're gonna start doing the TikTok shops. We're gonna start doing the YouTube videos, because on the YouTube video will basically just focus on lifestyle and just different recipes that you can make with our kilishi, different meals you can do with our kilishi. So it's gonna be super exciting, super fun. Also working on a hot sauce line. So it's a lot of different things coming out, and just stay with us, stay focused, and Abokibi is here to stay to the world. Period.
Thank you so much. We'll be sure to follow.
That's it for this week's episode of A Bright Idea podcast. Today's guest was Blessing Ndon, founder of AbokiBee Kilishi, a Nigerian jerky brand. You can follow AbokiBee on social media at AbokiBeeKilishi, or to buy her jerky, you can go on her website at AbokiBeemeats.com. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review. Your feedback helps us bring on more stories like Blessings. Be sure to follow us on social media at A Bright Idea Podcast for updates. And if there's a topic or a guest you'd like to hear from next, drop us a message. If you would like to support our show directly, you can donate to our Cash App at A Bright Idea Podcast. This show was edited by Chris Kramer, and all social media was handled by my social media manager, Shekinah Henderson. Until next time, I'm Amber Key.